still talking about the different tourist attractions in Sri Lanka and concentrating more on the vision to promote Sri Lanka to the world through Nile TV International today and through our audiences all over the world. What would you tell them?
Sri Lanka is an island, a compact island that has everything what a post-COVID tourist wants. Whether it is the nature, whether it's the beaches, whether it's the plantations, whether it's the city, whether it's the food, the culture, wellness, and everything. So we see going forward post-COVID a growth in nature-based tourism, where people would look for camping, for trekking, for wild swimming. People would look for the wellness side of it, and we would like to share our over 2,500 old history of ancient Ayurveda and Helaveda Kama, which is to increase immunity actually, which most of us are in fact using right through COVID. So I think going forward, most countries, not only Sri Lanka, but most countries will look to sustainable strategies, which we too have implemented and continue to implement, looking at several of our sites to convert them to sustainable destinations and conservancies. So I think going forward, tourism will be very purpose-driven tourists, I think, and that people will be staying possibly longer, closer to nature, closer to space, more space, and nature-based tourism.
Yes.
So Sri Lanka with 5 international airports and 9 domestic airports. In fact, 1 airport, international airport, was opened while during COVID, and we have 9 domestic airports. So it's easy to travel around Sri Lanka. You could see a leopard, an elephant, go and see the tea plantations and come back to Colombo the same day and have a crab dinner. So it's a very compact island, and I think that post-COVID Sri Lanka is well suited for the global tourists.
Yes, definitely. And while we are airing excerpts of the virtual tour, definitely the wildlife looks exceptional. So what are we expected to see while visiting? Tell us more. It's very inspiring.
With regards to the cow safari, of course, the animals would be basically the elephants, all types of animals, the leopard, the bear, the birds. Actually, some of the parks that we have are really like Kumana. It's very famous for birds. Actually, even Vilpattu, you can see loads of different types of birds. So, and wild horse and so on. So Sri Lanka, you could see animals. You have the beautiful, obviously, the beaches, which we are famous for. The plantations, which is amazing. It's spectacular. Within a few hours of a drive, or if you're in a seaplane, it's 20 minutes. You could see plantation. The culture, Egypt is also has a long history. We both our countries have long histories, so we have our what we call in Anuradhapura area, Sigiriya, Polonnaruwa. Those are the areas that you would go and see the ancient culture. In fact, one of the first hospitals, I believe, inpatient hospitals were built in Sri Lanka. So this is another area that I think we could offer the world, the tourists, the global tourists, the wellness. I think we can share so much on wellness going forward, and we're already making some videos and promotions and digital marketing going forward on the wellness aspect as well.
Yes, yes, Excellency, talking Egypt, and as you've mentioned, with its rich history and culture and civilization, how can we proceed and further boost our touristic relations between both countries, Egypt and Sri Lanka? What do we have in store?
Absolutely. Egypt Air recently started cargo flights. I think we didn't have any flights from Egypt Air maybe for a few decades. And I see that as an initial step towards establishing regular flights, I hope, between Egypt and Sri Lanka. Irrespective, there are several flights, international flights that come from Sri Lanka, and obviously through transit mode that you could come over. We absolutely look forward to working with Egypt government, Egypt Tourist Board to welcome passengers from guests from your country. We have already, the visa process has been streamlined. The 1 month visa we will be extending very soon to 6 months, anybody who wishes to stay. So we are even looking at even longer extensions of visas. We are absolutely looking forward to welcoming your citizens. Sri Lanka is a beautiful island, and Egypt, I too have visited Egypt many years ago. It's absolutely amazing. It was one of my best holidays. So I too am looking forward to visit your country soon and to welcome each and every one of you to our beautiful island soon.
Mrs. Fernando, you're saying that Egypt is considered to be one of the most beautiful holidays that you have spent, and definitely you did go back home with memories and with lots of Egyptian friends as well. Tell us more about memories with Egypt and about the different places and the sightseeing places that you visited here.
Yes, it was a very short visit, and it was many, many years ago. And I came with my children, who are now, of course, much bigger now in university. But so we went, obviously, the pyramids, and we enjoyed the food, the people, amazing. I mean, I learned something with regards to sort of how you handle tourism. At that time, I had no interest I was not involved in tourism. Actually, I was a banker then at that time. It was a very memorable trip. I remember the kids and I were just absolutely blown with the history, the culture, everything that Egypt has to offer. And I'm sure many Sri Lankans will visit Egypt. As most, I believe lots of visitors are from Europe to Egypt, I believe. And I'm sure that Sri Lanka, we could, jointly promote Egypt and Sri Lanka for our citizens to visit each other.
Yes. What do you think, Excellency, of a nice program entitled that we propose here on Nile TV International to the Sri Lankan Tourism Board, talking about exploring both countries, letting the peoples of both nations know more about what each country has to offer to the tourists, namely explore Egypt, explore Sri Lanka, and we can work hand in hand about such a program that would, from one time to the other, promote the two countries' cultures and sightseeing and tourism and more.
Absolutely, a phenomenal idea. I would love to follow up on that and meet the ambassador here. Absolutely, that's a fabulous idea, and I think we could absolutely take it forward.
Yes, definitely. Well, Your Excellency, talking about your vision vis-a-vis the future of tourism in both countries, Egypt and Sri Lanka. And we're working definitely here in Egypt also, as you know, under the leadership of His Excellency, the President, in order to complete one of the projects that we narrate its story with pride, which is the GEM, the Grand Egyptian Museum, that is expected to be inaugurated in 2021, and more than one tourist attraction, actually. The upcoming season, when the year wraps up, it's usually the beautiful Sharm el-Sheikh receiving visitors and tourists also from all over the world, and Hurghada. And if we enter winter time, then it's Luxor and it's Aswan with the sunshine and with the nice weather, and with the open air museum that is unparalleled all over the world. What do we have in store concerning the tourism programs, hopefully that COVID would end?
Absolutely. I mean, Sri Lanka has the Sigiriya, which is very famous in Sri Lanka, which is a rock that the beaches, we have Kandy, the city that I would recommend that you visit. Nuerelia, which is actually the plantations, the tea plantations are. We have in Nigambo, which is also lots of tourist sites and hotels and what have you there. We have Trincomalee, which has also an harbour and is a very beautiful area. We have, of course, Gaul, which is very famous down south for visitors. A lot of visitors would travel down south as well and spend maybe long stay. Visitors would if they like to stay on the beach. The advantage of Sri Lanka is that we every time, because it's an island, and you can be on the beach if you need different sides of Sri Lanka if you like. So during the down south, we could be there from I would say about November to March. Down south is a good area. You of course see the whales and the dolphins, the whale watching and dolphin. The couch safari actually, which we are doing right now over 4 parks. We would next be looking at the whales and the dolphins and a safari in the sea, if you like.
Yes.
So that we will share with you. And in fact, our temples, we would like to share. Then also the food, obviously, that is very important for I notice even in Egypt, it's the same. Food is very important. So this is something also we would like to share.
Definitely, and let's share with our audience now together excerpts of that beautiful tour, and we'll be back to continue our discussion.